Some places on Earth are forbidden, not by choice, but by necessity. 5 locations, 5 seals, 5 warnings ignored at your own peril. From deadly islands to government secrets, from ancient tombs to nature's most lethal creations. These are the world's most forbidden places, and you're about to discover why. Welcome to Forbidden Places.
Picture this. You're on a fishing boat in the middle of the Bay of Bengal. You've had a great day, your nets are full, and you're ready to head back home. But then, out of nowhere, a massive storm appears. Within minutes, your boat flips over, your crew is gone, and you're clinging to a piece of debris for dear life. You're exhausted, terrified, and eventually you pass out. When you wake up, you're lying on a beach. The storm is past, the sky is clear, but something feels very wrong. You don't recognize this place at all. As you sit up and cough out seawater, you notice some figures in the distance. They're getting closer. At first, you think, finally, people who can help me. But as they approach, you realize these aren't ordinary people. They're barely clothed, carrying bows and arrows, and they don't look friendly at all. Congratulations, you've just washed up on North Sentinel Island, and honestly, your survival chances just dropped to almost 0. This island is home to one of the last uncontacted tribes on Earth. The Sentinelese people have lived on this island for an estimated 60,000 years, completely isolated from the modern world, and they want to keep it that way. These aren't people who will politely ask you to leave. They've made their message crystal clear over the decades. Stay away or face the consequences. And by consequences, I mean they will attack you. They've killed fishermen who accidentally drifted too close. They've shot arrows at helicopters flying overhead. And they've made it very clear they have 0 interest in meeting anyone from the outside world. The Indian government, which technically has jurisdiction over the island, has basically given up trying to make contact. In fact, they've created an exclusion zone around the island. You're not allowed to get within 5 nautical miles of North Sentinel Island. That's about 10 kilometers. The Indian Navy actually patrols the area to keep people out, not to keep the Sentinelese in. Here's where it gets even more interesting. The Indian government doesn't prosecute the Sentinelese for attacking or even killing outsiders. They're essentially immune to Indian law. Think about that for a second. There's a group of people who can defend their territory with lethal force and face 0 legal consequences. That's pretty unprecedented in the modern world. In 2006, 2 fishermen whose boat drifted near the island were killed by the Sentinelese. Then, in 2018, an American missionary named John Chow tried to visit the island 3 times. He wanted to make contact with the tribe, possibly to share his religious beliefs. On his 3rd attempt, he successfully reached the shore, but the Sentinelese killed him. It's a tragic story, but authorities had warned him multiple times about the danger. Now, you might wonder why we don't just force contact with these people. Well, beyond the obvious ethical issues, there's a very serious medical reason. The Sentinelese have been isolated for so long that they have virtually no immunity to common diseases that we carry. A simple cold or flu that might give you a few days of discomfort could potentially wipe out their entire population. Just by being near them, breathing the same air, or shaking hands, we could accidentally commit genocide through germs. So North Sentinel Island remains one of the most forbidden places on Earth. And honestly, that's probably for the best. Now let's travel from a mysterious island to an ancient tomb in China. It's 1974, and you're a farmer in central China. You're digging a well because, well, farms need water. Pretty routine stuff. But then your shovel hits something hard. You dig a bit more and find fragments of terracotta, then bronze arrowheads, then more pottery. You've just discovered one of the most significant archaeological finds in human history, the tomb of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. When archaeologists arrived, they couldn't believe what they found. It wasn't just a tomb, it was an entire underground city, a massive necropolis filled with thousands of life-sized terracotta soldiers, horses, chariots, and weapons. We're talking about over 8,000 terracotta warriors, each one unique with different facial features and expressions. And here's the crazy part. After nearly 50 years of excavation, they still haven't fully explored the site. The Terracotta Army was built between 246 and 208 BC. The emperor wanted an army to protect him in the afterlife, so he had thousands of clay soldiers created. But the soldiers are just the outer layer. At the very center of this massive complex lies the actual tomb of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, and that tomb has never been opened, not even a little peek inside. Why haven't they opened it? Well, there are several reasons. First, this area is prone to earthquakes, and archaeologists worry that disturbing the tomb could damage countless artifacts. Second, there's the technology issue. We simply don't have the tools to properly excavate and preserve everything inside without potentially destroying it. It's like knowing there's an amazing treasure chest, but opening it might ruin everything inside. But here's where it gets really interesting. Ancient historical records describe what's supposedly inside this tomb, and it sounds absolutely wild. According to these accounts, the tomb is surrounded by rivers of liquid mercury. Yes, mercury. The emperor believed mercury was the key to immortality, so he apparently drank it regularly. Spoiler alert, drinking mercury doesn't make you immortal. It actually made him go crazy and killed him, but I digress. The historical texts say the ceiling of the tomb is decorated with pearls and precious gems, arranged to represent celestial bodies, like a map of the heavens. The floor supposedly has a detailed map of the emperor's entire empire, and of course, there are booby traps, specifically automatic crossbows designed to shoot anyone who tries to enter the tomb. Now, you might think these ancient accounts are just exaggerated legends, but here's the thing. When scientists tested the soil around the tomb, they found mercury levels that were 100 times higher than normal. So at least part of those ancient stories might actually be true. There really might be rivers of mercury down there. The Chinese government has decided to leave the tomb sealed, at least for now. Maybe future technology will allow us to explore it safely, or maybe it'll remain closed forever. Either way, the tomb of China's first emperor remains one of the most tantalizing forbidden places in the world. Now let's head north way north, to a frozen archipelago that sounds like something out of a science fiction movie. Welcome to Svalbard, specifically the Svalbard Seed Vault. Now, this isn't forbidden in the same way as the previous locations. You can actually visit Svalbard as a tourist, but getting inside the Seed Vault, that's a completely different story. Svalbard is a group of islands between mainland Norway and the North Pole. It's one of the northernmost inhabited places on Earth. The landscape is stark, beautiful, and absolutely freezing. Polar bears outnumber people here, which is both amazing and terrifying. In fact, if you leave the main settlement, you're legally required to carry a rifle because of the polar bear risk. But we're not here to talk about polar bears. We're here to talk about the Seed Vault. Picture a massive underground bunker carved deep into a mountain of frozen rock. This facility stores seeds from crops all over the world. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of seed samples representing basically every important food crop humanity has ever cultivated. Why? Because this is humanity's backup plan. If a global catastrophe strikes, if wars destroy agricultural systems, if climate change wipes out certain crops, if a pandemic affects food production, we have this vault. It's like a Noah's Ark, but for plants. The location was chosen specifically because it's remote, geologically stable, and naturally cold. Even if the power fails, the permafrost keeps everything frozen. The vault is built to withstand pretty much anything. Earthquakes, nuclear war, you name it. It's designed to last for centuries without human intervention. The entrance looks appropriately dramatic, like something from a Bond villain's lair, with a long, illuminated tunnel leading into the mountain. Access to the Seed Vault is extremely restricted. You can't just show up and ask for a tour. Only authorized personnel can enter, and even they have to need multiple levels of clearance. The seeds themselves are stored in sealed packages inside the vault's frozen chambers. Countries and organizations deposit their seeds but retain ownership. It's like a safe deposit box system, but for the future of human agriculture. There's something both reassuring and unsettling about the Seed Vault. Reassuring because it shows humans can plan for the long term and work together to protect our future. Unsettling because apparently we need such a thing in the first place.
what does it say about our world that we need a doomsday vault for seeds?
From the frozen north, let's travel to a tropical island off the coast of Brazil. But fair warning, this next location is definitely not a vacation destination. In fact, it might be the last place on Earth you'd want to visit. Welcome to Ilha da Queimada Grande, better known by its much more intimidating name, Snake Island. The name is not an exaggeration. This island has the highest concentration of venomous snakes anywhere on the planet. We're talking about 1 to 5 snakes per square meter in some areas. Just think about that for a moment. You literally cannot take a step without potentially stepping on a venomous snake. The primary resident is the golden lancehead pit viper, one of the deadliest snakes in the world. These snakes evolved in isolation on the island, and without many ground-dwelling prey animals, they adapted to hunt birds. That means they evolved incredibly potent venom that acts fast enough to kill a bird before it can fly away. For a human, a bite from one of these snakes can cause kidney failure, muscle necrosis, brain hemorrhaging, and death. Medical experts estimate you have less than an hour to get treatment after a bite, and good luck getting medical help when you're on an island 33 kilometers off the Brazilian coast, surrounded by thousands of deadly snakes. How did this happen? How did one island become so overrun with venomous snakes? The answer goes back to the last ice age. Thousands of years ago, when sea levels were much lower, this island was connected to the Brazilian mainland. Snakes lived there just like they lived on the mainland. But as the ice age ended and sea levels rose, the island became separated. The snakes were trapped. On the mainland, snakes have to compete with various predators and deal with different environmental challenges. But on this island, the snakes had no natural predators. Their population exploded. They adapted to their environment, becoming even more venomous to hunt the abundant bird population. Over thousands of years, they essentially took over the entire island. The Brazilian government has made Snake Island completely off-limits to civilians. The official reason is to protect both the endangered snakes and the people who might be foolish enough to want to visit. The Brazilian Navy patrols the waters around the island. The only people allowed to visit are researchers who have special permission from the Institute for Biodiversity Conservation, and even they have to take extreme precautions. There are legends about Snake Island. One story claims that the island once had a lighthouse, and a lighthouse keeper lived there with his family. According to the tale, one night snakes entered the lighthouse through the windows. The family tried to flee, but were bitten multiple times before they could reach their boat. It's a terrifying story, though its accuracy is debatable. What we do know for certain is that if Snake Island had a tourism slogan, it would be, "Visit once, die horribly." Speaking of islands, let's visit one more, but this time with a different kind of inhabitant. Welcome to Morgan Island, also known as Monkey Island. And yes, it's exactly what it sounds like, an island full of monkeys, specifically rhesus macaque monkeys, lots of them, over 3,000 at last count. Morgan Island is located off the coast of South Carolina. It's a small island, completely uninhabited by humans, and absolutely teeming with free-ranging monkeys. It's protected by the Department of Natural Resources and the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. And here's where the story gets interesting. This isn't some natural monkey habitat. These monkeys were deliberately put there. Back in 1979, there was a serious problem in Puerto Rico. A large population of rhesus macaque monkeys there were carrying hepatitis B, and it was causing frequent outbreaks. Someone had to make a decision about what to do with over 1,400 monkeys that were essentially disease carriers. The solution? Capture all of them and relocate them to a remote island off South Carolina. I'm not kidding, that was the actual plan, and they went through with it. So these monkeys were transported from Puerto Rico to Morgan Island, where they've been living ever since. The island is used for public health research, which is a polite way of saying it's used for animal testing. The monkeys are studied, bred, and sometimes used in medical research. It's controversial, obviously, but it's also been useful for developing vaccines and treatments for various diseases.
You cannot visit Monkey Island as a tourist. It's completely restricted. Only authorized researchers with specific clearance can access the island, and even they have to take extreme precautions. The monkeys themselves are not particularly friendly, and remember, many of them carry hepatitis B, so even if you could visit, you probably wouldn't want to get too close. From one island to another, from monkeys to something far more mysterious and controversial, our final destination takes us to the desert of Nevada, to a location that's been the subject of countless conspiracy theories, movies, and memes. We're talking, of course, about Area 51. Area 51 sits on a dry lake bed called Groom Lake in the Nevada desert. It's a highly classified United States Air Force facility, and it's been shrouded in secrecy since its creation in the 1950s. The base was originally built as a testing site for the U-2 spy plane, one of the most advanced reconnaissance aircraft of its time. But over the decades, it's become associated with all sorts of wild theories. The interesting thing about Area 51 is that it was never really a secret in the sense that the government denied its existence. They just never talked about what happened there. The name Area 51 itself comes from the designation on old maps used for nuclear testing sites in Nevada. The CIA refers to it as Homey Airport or Groom Lake, which are possibly the most boring names for such a famous location. Because of the secrecy surrounding Area 51, people have speculated about what really goes on there. The most famous theory is that the government uses the facility to study captured alien spacecraft and possibly even alien bodies recovered from UFO crashes. The theory often ties in to the Roswell incident from 1947, where something crashed in New Mexico, and the government claimed it was a weather balloon. Do I believe aliens are being studied at Area 51? Honestly, probably not. But here's the thing. The government definitely tests top-secret aircraft and weapons technology there. Many of the UFO sightings near Area 51 were probably just people seeing experimental aircraft that looked nothing like conventional planes. When you're testing weird-looking prototypes in the desert, of course people are going to think they're seeing something extraterrestrial. The area around Area 51 is heavily restricted and monitored. The perimeter is clearly marked with warning signs that make it very clear you are not welcome. There are motion sensors, cameras, and armed guards. If you cross the boundary, you will be detained, possibly arrested, and definitely not given a tour of the facility. They take security seriously. In 2019, something weird happened. A Facebook event was created called Storm Area 51, They Can't Stop All of Us. It started as a joke, a meme, but it gained massive traction online. Millions of people clicked attending on the event. The idea was that if enough people rushed the gates simultaneously, some would get through and finally see what's inside. The government was definitely not amused. They issued warnings making it very clear that storming a military base is a federal crime and could be met with deadly force. When the actual date arrived, over 1,500 people showed up at the perimeter of Area 51. Most of them were there for the party atmosphere, treating it like a festival. A few people tried to actually approach the restricted area and were quickly detained. 7 people were arrested, but amazingly, nobody died. It was mostly peaceful, though I'm sure some government officials were sweating quite a bit during the planning stages. Here's the ironic thing about Area 51 being on a list of forbidden places. For hundreds of people, it's just their workplace. They commute there, probably complain about their jobs, eat lunch in the cafeteria, and go home at the end of the day. For them, it's not mysterious or exciting. It's just work. But for the rest of us, it remains one of the most intriguing and inaccessible locations in the world. So there you have it. 5 incredible places you'll almost certainly never visit.
Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great day.